Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Last Word with Naya podcast. So, we're back with a new season. I'm so excited. My first guest is Basi Affia. Mm-hmm. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Basi. I own Iowa and Nebraska's first black comic book company, Sensiil Studios. Just bringing representation and diversity into science fiction. We want to get some fantasy stuff out soon too. Tapping into some animation and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, y'all probably didn't seen me on, at least from Iowa and surrounding areas on the news and newspapers and all magazines, like all kinds of stuff. I've been doing a lot of things. Big things.
Yeah. I was going to say, we've obviously seen you in the community and doing stuff. So, I love that. When I found out about you, I was like, this is so cool. Like, I have to, talk to this guy. I have to get him on my podcast because I think there's this weird relationship with, anime and comics that black people have that is, that they don't really talk about as much. You know, that there's a whole following that you're missing out on.
Yeah. So, literally, that's all right, that's a huge part of what I talk about and do because literally the worldwide fan base, 32% is black fans.
Right.
1/3 of the fan base is black.
Yeah.
Now, but when you look at the number of characters that are black, only 5 to 6% of the characters are black.
Right.
So literally 1/3 of the fan base, and only 1/20th of the characters. Now, granted, it's because most of the stuff is made in Japan, Korea, China, so they got their own thing. But even the creator of Naruto, he the reason why he ended up making the Hidden Mist Village or Hidden Cloud Village, Hidden Cloud Village, is because he realized he was like,
niggas know.
No, yeah, on God, yeah, niggas know. It's because he realized he was like, oh, I didn't know this many black people liked my show, so let me give y'all stuff, And then they messed it up with B. He was funny, but still, I was like, I don't know if I should laugh or be offended, because it was so dumb that I was like, maybe they did it on purpose.
Right.
I don't, because nobody else was like that. It was just B. So I was like, all right. But yeah, so there definitely has always been a personal. Yeah. So there always has been that relationship. It's just now it's a little more acceptable to be a nerd and watch anime and all that stuff.
Why do you feel that is?
COVID.
You think so?
Yeah, everybody got put on lockdown. Everybody started watching it, started posting about it, and then they just stopped caring. At some point, everybody was just like, okay, we all know that we all watch this, so let's just talk about it now. Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely think getting put on lockdown kind of just shifted a lot of stuff, and nobody really had a choice but to sit down and binge watch everything on Netflix. So then everybody started getting into it, and, it only takes a couple of, not celebrities, but big name people to advocate for something, and then everybody's like, I've been watching anime for no, you haven't. Nope.
Right.
Nope. You didn't go through the trials in middle school of having to But
that's one thing I just saw this yesterday, and I thought it was that I love is Meg the Stallion is a huge anime fan, and she went to Japan and dressed up as all these characters that she loves and put her own.
She did a good job too.
Black girl spin. I loved it. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you show appreciation to a real culture.
Yeah.
And a whole,
without trying to rip it. Yeah. So yeah, that's no, literally that's because it's interesting though being in this niche because I'm not trying to. It's very easy to just fall into that category of oh, it's manga or it's anime, because those are Japanese things. And cool, do that and just do it in your own way, whatever. But myself and other similar companies and creators really trying to define what black comics are. What is you can look at something and be like, oh yeah, that's a manga, or that's anime, just off rip. So what is black animation? What is
there a
black
term
comic
for it? Like the anime, the manga.
So there was an Ethiopian creator. 32% of the fan base is black, and only 5% of the characters actually reflect that. So I don't know. Yeah, that's just a weird thing. You can always see the relationship there, or there was always a relationship there, and then It got cool. COVID happened, and everybody had to, they didn't really have a choice but to sit down and binge watch everything possible on Netflix. So then everybody started liking anime. And then that's when I actually started writing my, kind of the origin stories.
Yeah. So we have 2 of your comics behind us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just telling you how beautiful the artwork is, and like the fact that like these characters, like when they say representation matters, it really does. And it's crazy that it's 2024 before we're starting to see a lot of this. Like even as a girl growing up, like there wasn't ethnic Barbies. Like there was the main Barbie, you had a brunette Barbie, you got like a Latina looking Barbie, like Mexican Barbie. Yeah. And then like there really wasn't any like different shades. And like when I take my daughter through these toy aisles now, these dolls are every shade, every variation. Black girls with freckles, black girls with froze, black girls with all different, like it's insane. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like I wish I would have had this as a child. Yeah. Like, so the representation does matter. Yeah. Like seeing yourselves in something, that's one thing I think people really with America, and when it comes to the idea of racism, is a lot of it is the fact that we were intentionally kept from seeing ourselves in things. Yeah. So seeing yourselves in things gives you power, and the people that see themselves in this, if your presidents are always white, if everybody leading everything is always looks like you, then that's going to give you a boost that people that never see themselves in them spaces. And that's that's like
it's just all part of the storytelling. Like I make comic books, but really it's just storytelling is what I do. Right. You can do that in a lot of different ways, a lot of different mediums. Everything you do is storytelling. Mm-hmm. The way you walk, the way you talk, what you say, the way you say it, like is everything you do. And so when a people group is constantly fed a story like about themselves, about the world around them, and how that dynamic is, then it affects you a certain way. You develop a lot of self-hate. You do a lot of this stuff. And so like, so that's why. So like, me growing up, so being bicultural, people always try to check you. Like white folks be like, ew. And then black people be trying to check you and be like, hey, like what kind of mixed person are you? Like, are you a black one or are you a white one?
Are you more like us or more like them?
So I was saying this earlier, like, bro, I went to both agencies and I applied for my black card and my white privilege card, and I was just going to see which one was going to come first, because I mean, that's where I was at. And then everybody just wanted to take forever, but the black folks got to me first, and they was like, all right, we game recognized game, we understand, bro. Like the
Dave Chappelle race draw.
Yeah,
right? Like, we, the black delegation, hereby accept your application.
It was a very professional process. I liked it. Like I liked everybody on the cabinet. Like it was cool.
Everybody was on time
for once.
Shit, they was on time.
I was like, dang, bro, that's sheesh. But but yeah, no. So I basically just started realizing, like I knew I was black, but I started realizing that I was black and like what that meant. And so. Once I was coming to that realization, like I used to never, like when I would be writing like in middle school, whatever, I never made black characters. Like they were all white dudes. When that hit me, I was like, why is that? Like I was like, why am I not? Yeah, like it would just make sense just to make somebody that looks like me, like just because I'm the one who's met. Like it doesn't make sense that I'm making Jake Smith with like, and he has. I don't know. Like it was weird.
Also, like we said, like anime is primarily Japanese and white looking characters. White passing characters. So,
that's crazy to me too, because like
we all knew Piccolo was a nigga, right?
Oh
like,
God,
we all knew
bruh.
that he was.
No, so funny story. I was at Twin Cities Con last year, and there was a artist up there. I'm actually working with her right now for one of my books, and she had these prints that she was doing. One of them was of Piccolo. And I walked up. I was like, oh, I got to get the Piccolo. Like, I got to. She was like, oh, thank you, whatever. It was a white girl. And I was like, so I don't know if you knew this, but we have claimed Piccolo as a brother. So
Yeah.
just so you know, like, you know, if there's you know, some black folks walking by, you can be like, hey, y'all want this Piccolo? What? Like,
Right,
I mean,
like,
you know, you might make a sale.
Push
Just
what
it.
you know.
Yeah, push Piccolo. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Piccolo's that guy. That bro, and I'm so glad they did him justice in Superhero. Got him his power up. Man, my man turned orange. He got a little tan now. They turned him orange. I was like, oh yeah.
I liked all the Dragon Ball Z like variations that I've seen, but I was always into the artwork and the style, like right, like everybody's got their thing with cartoons and drawings, like aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
That's why like there's shows like Rick and Morty, like that. If it wasn't so funny, it would push the boundaries for me to not be able to watch it because. It's so poorly drawn, you know.
But that's part of the.
But that's part of it.
That's
and
part
I
of
get
it.
that.
So it's that's what makes it good. Is because it's like
because their pupils are scribbles. You know, like
it's this cheesy, like not even cheesy. It's just poorly drawn, but it's intentionally poorly drawn. Right. So it's like it's not poorly drawn. It's just And
it's so wild. Like my daughter growing up, like watching Cartoon Network and like. They have like that new Teen Titans show.
We don't talk about that.
Right. We don't talk about that. And I saw it and I was like, what is this? Yeah. And she's like, oh, it's the Teen Titans. I was like, makes the Teen Titans. Yeah. Like, no, it's this not. Is some emoji.
This is Teen Titans Go.
Like,
okay. Yeah. Let's get this very clear.
And I put her onto the real Teen Titans. And I was like, this is the real Teen Titans. She's
bro,
like,
they even had an episode in Teen Titans Go where they were like, we look so cool.
We look like in that dimension. Yeah. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then there's an episode of this new one, of the new Teen Titans Go, and that they parody the movie The Goonies. And like parody it, full out rip off. And I was appalled watching it. I was like, I don't know how they got by with this.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is The Goonies. And my daughter's like,
the what?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, this was old when I was a kid, but I'm gonna have to make you watch this.
Baby Ruth.
I'm going to have to show you who Sloth really is and show you this stuff because this is crazy. Like,
I ain't even going to cap. I need to go
like
watch that,
taking our shit and rapping it.
Yeah.
But how wild is it, you know, when we would show our parents a new song, we'd show them a beat.
They're like, what like, you know about that?
This is da-da-da from this.
This is LL Cool J.
Yeah, this is some old shit. Like,
I remember my dad told me that. I was like, he make music?
Right.
I thought, first time I seen him, he was in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, okay.
So I was like,
Anaconda too.
Damn, and Anaconda.
Anaconda. He was the only nigga that ever lived, you know, in these movies, these action movies. There's another one. Yeah, we'll get it later.
I'm salty about that.
It's okay.
I be
Just
trying
don't
to
step on it.
No, yeah, that's why I was trying to like. Oh, there it is.
It landed flat. Okay. Yeah, I'm like LL Cool J and Anaconda.
Bro, Anaconda, literally.
And then oh God!
Wait, was that LL Cool J? No.
And AVP.
LL Cool J. That was Ice Cube.
That was no, it wasn't. It was LL Cool J.
In Anaconda.
The first one.
Anaconda is Ice Cube. Deep Blue Sea is
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea is LL Cool J. Anaconda is Ice Cube.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very confident in that. That's why when you said LL Cool J and Anaconda, I was like,
Jennifer Lopez was in Anaconda, right?
Was she? I don't think so. You thinking about a different movie.
Nah, bro. I'm thinking about early J-Lo days when the bitch used to act for real.
I don't know. I do remember the movie she was in. I think it was called Enough.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
She was in Anaconda. Okay.
Okay, so you got one.
It
was definitely Ice Cube though.
Andre's our young Jamie today.
Yeah, you gonna do the fact checking.
Davis.
The fact checking. Yeah.
And always shout out to Eli Live behind the mic, behind the film tonight.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I liked Anaconda, and then who was the other one? Sanaa Lathan and Alien vs Predator. The black girl was the last one. She made friends with the Predator.
I didn't know that was her name. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only.
I mean, she was the main character, so it's like
kind of, yeah.
not even kind of in Aliens vs Predator. She was the main character. Yeah, she was the main person. Yeah, no, I'm glad that was a good movie. What did you think about the second one?
Which one?
Requiem.
Requiem was good. It could have been better. I don't like my favorites, Covenant and Prometheus. I loved Prometheus.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and head out.
Really?
Like
Really?
they weren't bad, but it was like as far as saying they're your favorite ones.
No, well, I mean,
It's bold.
Out of the newer ones that they've made, AVP doesn't technically even fit into them. They don't even really claim that as being part of the series.
So,
but I thought that was one of my favorites. Like, I liked Alien vs. Predator.
I don't know who started saying that because they absolutely go together.
No, I looked it up on Google. And
who said that? Who?
Google said that it wasn't. Google said that Alien vs. Predator is like an offshoot. It's not like part of
right. No, I understand that.
In the timeline with like Wayland,
so like
he's already dead by this time, and in Alien vs. Predator, he's not. And
so like I understand the continuity
like
errors and stuff. Yeah, I understand the continuity errors and stuff. I'm just saying like the concept of that. Like maybe not like how it exactly happened. Because even there's tons of stuff.
That was one of my favorite movies.
They're about to make another Alien movie, and it's like. They're retconning a retcon about the origins of the xenomorphs. So like
But isn't that what Prometheus and Covenant was about?
So yeah, they were supposed to be, and they were supposed to be these biologically engineered weapons that the engineers made. But in this new movie that's coming out, I read that they're like undoing that, and they're just like a natural apex predator.
I hope they don't. Who's producing this?
I have no idea.
Ridley Scott?
I have no idea.
I also have my views on listen, I like Marvel. Marvel's got its characters that I like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I love DC. I'm diehard DC.
Like for comics, animation, or live action.
I just feel like the characters are just better, and like I feel like the stories are better.
So for comics, animation, or live action, because those are three different combos.
I liked the comics.
Okay.
I always liked the comics.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I feel like the animation is still pretty good, and the new stuff I feel like is great. Zack Snyder did a great job with his cut. I just feel like they should have all the work that it's disproportionate, right? For all the work that Marvel puts out. Yeah. DC is so slow at it. They're so slow, and they just can't make up their minds, and they fuck themselves. Like, y'all got rid of Superman. Y'all got rid of your number one asset for the Justice League, and you can't hammer down these characters fast enough.
I'll say that, honestly, DC doesn't even need to try to, like, catch up. They just needed to make a Justice League movie.
They did. A better one.
You don't have to give us the backstory. You don't got to do it the way Marvel did it. Just make a Justice League movie. And we will watch it.
They tried to. That's the problem. They tried to do it like Marvel. They were trying to give you individual stories of each character.
Nah, don't do that.
And then we have be different Avengers, like the same way. I get what they were trying for, but you guys aren't the same. You need to diversify yourself. You guys are over here. You have Batman. You've been letting Batman carry this shit for fucking ever. His back hurts.
All their backstories. We know their origins. Y'all don't need they're recasting Superman and making another Superman
That's so
movie.
dumb. Henry Cavill was it for this generation.
Okay, so that, but then also, y'all didn't need to do any individual Superman movie. Just make a Justice League movie. We know who Superman is. We know who Batman is. We know who Flash is.
We don't need you to make Aquaman and Flash extra movies. These are bad.
I'm saying. I'm like,
we don't care that much. Y'all are wasting millions.
What I will say about Flash, though, is that I think I seen something about them bringing in Grant Gustin, the dude who did the TV show Flash. They're bringing him into the movies. Like, he's going to be the movie Flash.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's great.
I'm down with that.
They got it. And same thing with the Spider-Mans. Y'all, like, with Marvel, they have Tom Holland. The worst thing they started doing was keep remaking these Spider-Man movies. Like, we know who.
That was not their fault.
I know. you know, like, they're at the mercy of it. Yeah. But, like, y'all just keep making. There are so many amazing stories. That's what I wish they would go back to. Like, one of my favorite movies is Troy. Like, I like a good mythological, like, movie. Yeah. Like, y'all, there's so many stories y'all haven't told or you could make up that are better than remaking this same old Spider-Man movie. We know. Uncle Ben. We get it. Like,
Sony didn't want to lose the rights to the IP.
Yes.
But two, I think that with the way that they ended up spinning it in No Way Home, I think it made it all work.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, bro, y'all brought back the OG Spidey.
I agree.
Like, that's cool.
I agree.
So, and actually, I think
that pleased everybody. I love Tobey Maguire.
I seen them.
Yeah.
They were saying they're gonna have a Spider-Man 4 for Tobey, and they're gonna have a Spider-Man 3 for Andrew. Yeah. Which I'm like, cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Like, especially now that we're in this multiverse era right now, like, yeah, that's dope. Like, do that because they deserve their last hurrahs. Like, because they were going to do Spider-Man 4 for Tobey, and then they scrapped that and rebooted it with Andrew. Then they were going to do Spider-Man 3 for Andrew, and they scrapped that and rebooted it with Tom.
I like
So
I
now
like
they're
the
getting
new
their
version of I like the version that we get now with Tobey Maguire of his Spider-Man, of
Old
his
man Spidey. Yeah.
of his evolution
Yeah.
of like, and I think that the Spider-Verse movies go
Yeah.
hard. They were robbed at the
Yeah.
Oscars last night. I mean, The Boy and the Heron was a good film, and I think it deserved its awards. But
is that the Studio Ghibli?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But anytime you go up against them, you know you're gonna,
Yeah, I was like,
that's
yeah,
not-
I haven't
that's not a
seen
win.
any of their stuff.
Yeah.
So, which I know. Don't look at me like that. I know. No, I know. I don't know why I just said that on tape, but it's
Moving
I
Castle, House
I
Moving
know
Castle?
the movies. I just haven't sat down to watch them.
Okay.
And I know they're good. I've seen little clips, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I just haven't sat down to watch them. I love the art style. I love like it all looks dope. I just for some reason have not sound to do it.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean,
I know. I also haven't seen like Game of Thrones and like a
Wow,
bunch of
okay.
like a bunch of big stuff.
you've never seen Game of Thrones?
Some stuff I just miss. And I don't know why.
There
but
wasn't an interest really there for it, or
no, there's an interest.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still interested.
Yeah.
It's just I just
you're,
missed.
You're
like
getting back there. Like they're on the second season, going into the second season of House of Dragon now.
yeah, I know. So
And
it's,
I was excited. I was thinking
Yeah.
I was going to get to talk to you about some of these.
yeah,
So
not
obviously,
that.
I mean,
we talk about Lord of the Rings.
I was going to say you've
Yeah.
seen Lord of the Rings, facts, because that's one of my
Yeah,
favorite
we talk
all
about Lord of the
time.
Rings.
Yes,
Why are you making that face over there?
he's not with it.
You don't like Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings, Return of the Kangs.
That's so good.
I
Return of the Kang.
will say
Kang
they
was
had-
an incredible character.
they
and
had
they fucked up with
zero
Jonathan
black
Myers
people in
not.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, they did. No, those were supposed to be the orcs. You know, like
That's what I was. I remember being young. I was like,
is
I
this
remember
us?
I remember telling my mom too. I was like, are they supposed to be the black people? Like I don't know. I like the movies, but like, where's the niggas? Yeah, but it's so. Have you seen the show though?
Yeah, I've seen it, and
So
I like
they
that
did a
they
good,
put
they
some
diversified
good
it.
black people in there, black dwarves.
I
and-
do think that it would make a little more sense for most elves to be darker because they're outside.
Really?
And I mean, most of them. And then
But but there's the elves that prefer the starlight, like the elves that like.
I mean,
are
yeah.
Only come out at night.
So I'm
like,
just saying, like, make it make sense. Like, they can be pasty as all get out. I don't care.
Yeah.
But when I see a dwarf,
the dwarf that's black and
like,
underground.
yeah, I'm like, do whatever. I don't care.
But that
but
still makes
just,
sense
like-
too, though, in a way.
It can. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, oh, you shouldn't make black dwarfs. I'm
It's
just
just
like,
melanin, though.
it just made me think. I was like, where? So what would be the origins of a?
Well, like we saw in the new ones, right? Like
Yeah.
they had gardens inside. Like they had figured out how to
That's true.
bring sunlight
That's true.
inside.
That's a good point.
Like and
That's a
get,
good point.
get
See, like stuff
melanin.
like that. I'm like, just make it make sense. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. I don't care. But
Yeah, no,
So
that
it's
makes
it was
sense.
same thing like with Lil.
I think they did a bad job with. You've seen the whole series, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so good. No spoilers.
Well, spoilers for y'all because we're about to talk about it.
Yeah, we're about to talk about it. I think they did a good job with, or they did a bad job with the whole Isildur situation
Really?
and his dad. Yes, I think that could have been better. I think the way that they portrayed Isildur and Elendil, it could have been better.
Well-
like so, Elendil must come back.
Yeah,
And
there's
try
got to
and
be
find
the
Isildur.
Yeah, there's got to be the progression though. You know what I'm saying? Like they have
Right.
to start off this way, not
Right.
super likable, whatever, and then he goes through his character development, and then I
I
mean
agree.
we know how that story
Yeah.
ends. He fails, so it's
No,
like
yeah, and I think they did a good job with
Yeah.
Hallbrand.
So
I
I-
knew Hallbrand was that dude. He had just
Yeah.
I'm like he's random,
Yeah.
and I knew Gandalf was already Gandalf, and they fucked
Yeah.
up with that because they had Gandalf. If that's who they're portraying him to be,
that's not
is
Gandalf. I don't think it's
it
Gandalf.
is.
No, he's another wizard. He's like one of the first wizards.
I don't think so because when I looked
Granted,
into
before
the,
y'all pick me apart, I'm not super deep into Lord of the Rings lore, but I'm pretty sure it was just
I
one
was
of the
gonna
first
say,
wizards.
I have been doing research
Okay.
because as I was watching the show, I was following like these threads about
Yeah.
about the show, and they were talking about like Gandalf isn't supposed to fall from the stars for like another 200 years.
That nigga's supposed to be Gandalf?
Yeah, so they sped it
Dang.
up. Yeah, and he's in gray, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
tell with the fireflies and stuff. That
But
he's
there's
Gandalf.
other
and that's his
wizards
affinity
though.
for hobbits. You know.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like
Yeah.
that would make sense.
But
I
they
just
counted
thought
them,
that-
and they were
yeah.
like, there's only 2 blue wizards. Sauron was the one white wizard, and then the brown wizard, Radagast, and Gandalf. So that's
Okay.
Gandalf It's supposed to be.
Huh. Interesting.
He's the last, and that's why he keeps pointing to that star system.
This kind of reminds me of the
Palantir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that series. And I think they did a good job.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
For the Hobbit series,
fantastic.
too. I just hate the CGI because the first, the Lord of the Rings, they had all these people. They employed all these people to do this, and now it's all CGI'd orcs and
there was some CGI in the OG trilogy, but most of it was like the Uruk-hai was people in practical
because they
effects.
were talking about one of the guys that played like the main guy.
They had all the effects on it.
Not that long ago. Yeah.
Oh dang, I didn't know that.
Did you ever watch the Spartacus series?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was. I'm a history nerd, so I loved it for like
the history.
I was just like, I was like, this is really dope. I mean, obviously like the violence and stuff too. I was like, cool.
Right.
But
I thought that was a tragedy too, because the guy they had originally, Andy Whitfield,
he died.
He died of
after
pancreatic
the first season.
Yeah, pancreatic cancer, and he was Spartacus to the core.
Literally after him, I was like,
America. They would have made him Captain America instead of Chris Evans.
I was like,
he would have lived.
Bruh, I can't really get.
He
would have
been an Avenger.
Dude. Like, for sure he would have.
Yeah.
You know who I want to kind of see? What's that dude's name? He was in Avatar, the blue people Avatar, the main character.
Oh, Chris. What's his name?
His name is Chris too.
They all have.
Everybody's name is Chris.
Because he was also in like one of the Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
They put him in there.
Yeah. I would want to see him in a Marvel movie. I could see him doing something.
I could see him doing something as well. I think Paul Rudd is one of my favorite people that they've put into the Marvel universe. Every time I watch these Marvel movies, it makes me think of the concept of, what dimension are we in? What is our dimension labeled as? Because we're clearly not 616, because that's where all the superheroes are. So are we 610, 612? Like, we don't have
for me. So like
people that have abilities in
on
this
here.
dimension.
It's a universe 528.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, because I be having those same questions. I'm like, where are we at? Mm-hmm. I'm saying this is where we're at because all my stuff is in the future. So like. All the stuff that has happened in art, like that's how history happened here. So like you existed in this universe. All these niggas existed in this universe. Except for Andre. I'm just like, but no, like so we all existed in this universe, and like it's a particular thing for that because I wanted it like to. There's just that piece of identifying with it where it's like, these are my descendants. Like I'm
related.
Cool. Yeah. Like I'm related to this person. Yeah. So like literally case in point, the main character, Azrael Black, the last name Black. I was thinking about changing my last name because my last name is White. Ironically.
That makes sense.
And I was thinking about changing it.
White.
I know. Yeah. So Affia actually means white in Ibibio, which is the language that my first name is from. So I just Africanized it. But the joke for me with that was that like, okay, so these are like her lineage is my bloodline.
Right.
And they just changed their last name to Black.
Okay.
Cause they're like, So what happened was there was a whole race war basically. And this isn't like overtly stated. It's kind of alluded to in some spots, but like white people go crazy basically, like completely bonkers. And there's a war because of it. Like they're just nuking everything and like whatever. Like and so Africa united, and then Black.
So this is on our planet.
Yeah. Yep,
oh, okay.
Yep. Like this is our. That's what I'm saying. Like this is
our history.
Our people. Yeah. This is our future history.
Yeah, so, I find that interesting. The idea of like what. And I was just thinking about this the other day. It's like you wonder sometimes if these are like high thoughts. Yeah. But then you realize sometimes I think it takes that enlightened, awakened mind to ask these questions to yourself of like what they're never going to tell us that they know how to travel interdimensionally. Like that's what they say some of these UFOs and some of this stuff is interdimensional travel.
So I'm gonna tell you right now.
And they know about other dimensions. We just can't reach them. It's like but they can reach us. It's like, okay, so Black Mirror, for example. Like every time they do these shows, some of this shit is so eerily close. You're like, so are we just filming in another dimension and just like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. It's a show. No, it's not real. But It looks real. It's not.
So you were saying about like the UFOs and stuff. I'll say that there's, I mean, even historically, there's documentation.
I was gonna
of like
say you
things,
believe in aliens, right?
Well, I mean,
of
yeah,
course.
clearly. They might not be. They might not be on other planets.
I think they've always been.
They might be aliens like from other dimensions.
I think that too.
Well, I know for a fact those ones exist. But anyway, yeah. So
dimensionally, yeah. I think that's always something.
Because if you look at like a piece of paper, how I usually either fold it or like you can draw a circle in it. So then like how did I explain it? Yeah, it was something like and then you fold it. Folding it into basically showing that like anybody who exists inside this piece of paper cannot perceive
anything outside
of that.
Right.
So, but we can perceive that piece of paper, but we can't perceive whatever the next dimension is. Whoever's in that next dimension can perceive all of that.
Yes.
But they can't perceive what's from the next dimension. So it's like,
it's
just levels to it.
Like, right, these ancient cultures drawing and talking about these visitors and drawing these ships and these aircrafts.
Yeah.
In India, they build their temples to look like what they call vimanas, which were like they drew these UFOs out mechanically from the inside out of what they look like and how they move through the sky. And we're just like, oh yeah, no, this is just a myth. And they consider this stuff like the Vedic texts and the Mahabharata to be their literal history. They don't see it to be as like myth. Like I think it's crazy for us to say you can't perceive technology that you don't understand. To them, they see it as the sun is flying across the sky. They see it as a dragon. Yeah. They see it as you are ethereal visitors.
Have you seen?
You're just in a. What's it called? In Mexico, they drew them like in suits, like astronaut suits. It's like.
Have you seen Manifest?
The movie, the show, right? Yeah, no, I couldn't get.
There was I know a lot of people.
I know what they're doing.
I like
it's like
it,
a Lost.
But
I can't do that again to myself. Not after Lost.
I haven't seen Lost, but man,
it's like that's dimensional.
Lost. But so the thing there was an episode in there where there was this traveler, this like old traveler's journal, and he said there was like a silver dragon in the sky, whatever. Well, the silver dragon was actually their airplane that had like traveled back in time or whatever. I don't know. They were in the same pocket dimension. So the same thing where it's like they like people in a certain time will describe things in the verbiage that they know. And even in like in the book of Revelation, that's all
the wheels and wheels
vision. Yeah, that's all Ezekiel. Vision and like he's saying there's locusts with the heads of men. Like I mean that could be like a helicopter or something. Like because they don't know what aircraft are. Yeah. So like so when we read stuff like that, they're like, oh yeah, see that's ridiculous. It's like no, you just got to understand they don't know what we know.
They don't understand.
So like so even in Genesis when it says. Yeah, mountains of fire. Yeah, so just like even in Genesis when it says that God made Adam from the dust, they didn't know what germs were. They didn't know what bacteria was. So it's very plausible that we could have evolved. Yeah, we could have evolved from back. Yeah, like so it's like that's just how it's described. So it's like so there's all types of stuff like that where it's like
I agree. There's crazy stuff that is hidden in our history. Well, it's not even hidden. They're flat out telling you, like the ancient Sumerians are flat out telling you how we were created, what we were created for, that they created this race of beings came here, landed in that area. They were running from a war and devastation in their own galaxy, and they came here and began to genetically experiment, and they wanted something that was good at mining gold. And that's why we have this affinity for gold.
I'm gonna have to look at that. I ain't know about that.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about Sumerian stuff just because it overlaps with like
they were the first people to like really write shit down and have like it's in cuneiform. That's the language. It looks like these little teeny triangles, and like they would document their everyday in these clay tablets and stuff like. And they have the list of kings, which goes back like 200,000 years, and they would talk about these kings, that one of these kings ruled for like 10,000 years, another one ruled for like 15,000 years.
That's the other thing I was going to say too.
They just leave the planet. They don't like.
That's the other thing I was going to say too, is because like a lot of this, especially like numbers and stuff, they're not particularly in a lot of antiquities. They're not literal, like, and it's definitely not our years because like we have the Gregorian calendar. So even if they are talking about like a count, their year could be a week. Like
I read somewhere sometimes they would consider like almost 6 months or something, like a year, like half a year.
So it could be
by the time you're like 106 by then, but you're not really.
Right.
Yeah.
So so it's not even literally like. Because I'll say the same stuff. You didn't know
how to track time.
Right,
like,
exactly.
How many days is this?
Yeah, so all that stuff, because I mean, you really, Egypt gets a lot of credit for like the time system that the 12 and 24 hours and like all that stuff. But like, there were different systems that people use. So,
the Muslims, the Islamic faith was one of the first ones to map the solar system, map the stars and create time.
Yeah.
Like,
so the wise men.
Yeah.
The wise men in
the
nativity story, like I be like all that stuff. That's why I be trying to tell people, bro, like I don't care if you, well I do care, but like I don't care if you believe in God, like whatever. I'm just telling you that these books like they're valid. Like all of them, like they all have some type of validity. Like they're people.
Pieces of
they
truth in
existed.
Each one of it,
the people that wrote these, they all lived. Like they were real people, and they wrote these, and they were observing real things.
Right.
So like. You got, and I don't know.
It's the same thing with.
So when they talk, when they talk about like angels and like all these things, I'm like, bro,
they just didn't know how to explain a visitor from the outside. Yeah,
which I mean,
somebody that was shining.
I think,
or from another dimension.
I think that one thing that a lot of people do today is like we have this predisposition to separate like science fiction from supernatural,
right?
And I think it's really one and the same. So just like how we were saying, like when you see a technology, like if ancient people see a technology, you're like, oh, magic. But if if there's a supernatural being that reveals itself, whatever, it's like, oh, dang, like that's an alien. Like, I mean, yes.
To you.
Yeah, it's alien to you. It's not from here, but like it's the same thing as
right,
the supernatural stuff, like this angel, whatever. That is what it was. That is what it was. It's just, it's an alien too.
All right, we're back. Took a quick break, intermission.
Word from our sponsors.
Word from our sponsors. Eli Live behind the film. Shout out to Andre Davis over here. He's our young Jamie today. He's fact checking us.
I want everybody to know he pronounces it Studio Ghibli, and that is wrong.
And if you're, we would like you to weigh in. Is it GIF or GIF? Definitely. Let us know.
GIF stands for graphic. And we don't care about what the creator said.
The creator said it's GIF.
Okay. So we're back, and I have Basi here with me. Where were we? We were talking about.
I don't even know. I don't even remember.
We don't even know.
I do know that I wanted to bring up the Watchers though, because you brought up Shamaria.
Oh yeah. How they're all wearing watches and all their.
No, not watches. The Watchers.
Oh, the Watchers. Yes.
Yeah, the Watchers.
In the film, and
they got because there's a lot of like origin stories and stuff in different cultures and different like there's different cults across history and like all these different things, and in the Book of Enoch it tells about the Watchers coming down and teaching people certain things and stuff. So there's there's certain things like even when you're looking at like historical documents and stuff like that, yes. What they're recording and saying is what they actually saw and perceived, but that doesn't mean that it was actually true, because there was other entities that have their own nefarious agendas.
I agree with that.
To come in and deceive. Yeah. So it's like.
Well, yeah, they have an older story than the story of the flood. Like their story is older, and it's about a king, who's talking to one of two brothers of the Sumerian gods, and one of the brothers wants to flood the earth. He's sick of humanity, and so the other brother comes down to the king and he says, hey, listen, man, you got to build a ship, you got to take your family, whatever, my brother's gonna flood the planet. And his ship went to the stars. He built a ship that went to the stars for 40 days and 40 nights, and that story was written almost 2,000 years before the Christian. Like so they just pulled from.
How do they know that? How do they know? Do they like carbon date it, or like what's the?
Yeah, well, they know when this civilization was created and when they wrote this stuff. Gotcha. Yeah. So, my with them saying like the ship like went to the stars and all that, like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the stuff. And it was a DNA bank. When they said 2 of every animal, they were giving them a DNA bank, like a seed bank. Like
like that's what I'm saying. Like there's nuggets.
We didn't know how to.
Yeah, there's nuggets of like what happened.
Yeah. And the Bible has been translated and watered down so many times from
we're
what
gonna talk about that.
original.
I'm finna zone in right now. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
That's my favorite thing to talk about.
We'll spend 5 minutes on this, Basi, and then
All right. Because look, so when people say that, all right, first of all, I just want to clear something up. A lot of times when people say that, it's a statement to discredit the validity of what it records.
Right.
But also when people say that, the Bible
being translated.
So it's all right. So first of all, we got to deconstruct. It's not one conglomerate. It's not a singular book. It's a collection of different scrolls and library. Yeah. So, so when you lay all those out, there's really, I think it's like 87 texts that they've
cut some out. Right. They've cut.
No. So they didn't cut nothing out. This is what I'm saying. So, all right. So this is part of the thing because they said, they took books out of the Bible. No, they didn't. First of all, prior to like 1611, the whole Apocrypha was in there. They stopped printing it in there for whatever reason.
Right.
But they were never considered canonical to anything. They left them in there, though.
The books of Enoch and everything. Like if you go to Ethiopia, they have a Bible and they include these other like 7 books.
Yeah.
And the Bible's like, their Bible's twice as big.
So that's orthodoxy. So Ethiopian Orthodox is.
But the stories of Enoch are legitimate. Like he's Methuselah's dad.
So this is what I try to tell people when they start talking about the Bible was rewritten. You can literally prove it wasn't because we have original manuscripts from like 300 AD.
Right, but it's not so much that's been rewritten. It's been
in translations
for
sure.
Latin to French to English multiple times.
Yeah, but
King James versions, the Henry.
But even with
version,
that's what I'm saying. When people say that though, the way they say it is like, oh, you can't really like depend on what it says because it's been translated. It's like, yes, you can because you can look at the original language.
Right. I think there's bits and pieces in there that you can.
I will say that the translations miss a lot of depth.
Right, because
and a lot of the meaning.
Well, just the concept of like, so I've been going down this rabbit hole of Atlantis.
Yes.
And have you heard of the Richard structure in Africa? So it's a structure that's at the top of Africa. It's where modern day Mauritania is. Okay. The richest man who ever lived came from there, Mansa Musa, African king. Talk that shit.
Second richest.
He's richer than Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk put together. And so there's this structure that is a geological like wonder. Astronauts actually in the space station, they use it to like orientate themselves on the planet. They call it the Eye of Africa. It's concentric rings, giant geological concentric rings. And they've lied to us about the history of the planet and that they've now come out with science that the whole Sahara was green and lush up until about 5,000 years ago. There was a huge civilization, and it matches really everything that Plato talked about for Atlantis. And it had a river that ran right through it, a harbor to the south, and the whole area there just looks like a massive tsunami washed out over this, which is what he said happened. And they always try and say, no, Atlantis was an island. And he used the word Nessos. Plato used the word Nessos, which translates into like 3 different translations. And it could be like a peninsula, an area surrounded by water, or rivers nearby running through it. Like all of these things can be that. And they're like, they don't even understand how ancient people used to really navigate or talk about things. And it's right in that area. Of where the Egyptians were in close proximity in Greece and everything. It's wild. Jimmy Corsetti, Bright Insight. Shout out to that podcast. They talk about it all the time. So this is the Richard structure.
Dang.
Yeah. They can see it from space. It's insane.
Yeah.
And that white stuff in it is like salt from the sea coming up over there.
That's a Stargate.
Right?
That's a Stargate.
It's massive. It's massive. They can see it from space, like, and it matches. And the stone that it's made out of is red and black and white, and that's what they said Atlantis was made out of.
But so like all that stuff, even when you was talking about like what Plato said, what you said Nessos?
Nessos for an island,
like words like
multiple
that.
translations.
There's different, and that's why there's different translations of the Bible of different texts.
Simpler.
Mainly just the Bible, I think, because like the Quran, like
Yeah.
Like that's mostly in Arabic.
Right.
Like you don't
Farsi.
really, Farsi. Yeah. So, but the reason why there's different translations because you can translate one word 3 different ways.
Right.
And so it's like, you know what I'm saying? So, and there's systems that have
and
been
it's
used
in
to be
ways,
able to, and so you can literally translate something, you can translate it to capture the essence of like the message that's being said, you can translate it to, you know what I'm saying? So
that's why it's hard for us to understand ancient cultures
and that's
how they
and that's why I tell people like, no bro, they didn't change anything, they didn't do, like, it's just difficult to translate languages.
It's math, it's so hard to be like, what did they mean by
even
this?
math, because like if you go to Kenya, they do math so very differently. They get the right answer, but like it's just a different.
Yeah, but I mean, like math is a universal language, so even if you get there a different way, it's a number.
Literally a universal language.
Yeah,
like, that's how the universe works. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No,
okay, so one of my questions: have you ever been to Comic-Con?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to a couple. So
is it worth the hype? Or
so there's a lot of different ones. Mostly people think about San Diego Comic-Con. I have not been to that one.
Okay.
But I've been to, so there's Des Moines Con, there's Animate Des Moines, Anime Iowa, Twin Cities Con. I went up to Minnesota.
Okay.
There's a couple in Omaha that I went to. So like those are like kind of some of the ones in and around Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go down to like KC if you want to talk about like some big ones. There's Planet Anime and Planet Comic Con. Wait, what's it called?
Do you dress up?
Comic-Con. You can, yeah.
Do you?
Oh, do I? I don't think I have.
You always go.
I don't think I have. Yeah, because I'm at a table. Like I gotta be comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want people to see you as the artist.
Yeah. So
I find that to be so cool. I'm
making it.
One of my things is I definitely want to go to Comic-Con, like the big one in San Diego.
Oh yeah, I'll put y'all on because Des Moines Con.
That's what's up.
And if anybody
send it to me after.
If anybody ever wants to know when and where I'll be at for like events, I got it on my website. You just go to the upcoming tab, and I'll have.
Shout out your website real quick for everybody.
Yeah, okay. So Sensiil Studios, SENSIIL Studios.com. I had a couple days where I was like, should I do like .net? .org, like be different, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, I was like, nah, .com.
Yeah,
I was like, nah, .com is.
Do y'all remember Ask Jeeves? Do you remember that search engine, Ask Jeeves? It was that little butler guy, and it was like, it was, what did it turn into? I think like Yahoo or something.
May 31st.
It was Ask Jeeves, okay.
May 31st is Des Moines Con.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah, slide out. It's a good time. Dress up, do all that. I think I'm gonna wear like a Spider-Man costume.
There you go.
Yeah. I got these like light
I like
blue.
Star Trek. I think I would go as like Lieutenant O'Hara.
So my
get the go-go
publishing
boots, the high
officer
pony.
I met in Minneapolis, and she was cosplaying some Star Trek stuff. Like she had the Federation thing on, and like the uniform. I think she was a Vulcan. She had like
the ears. Yeah,
I think that's what she was. But shout out Kristen if you're watching this, Kristen. Hi. But. So yeah, she came up to the table and I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, you know, what's up? You know, I know the stuff. Yeah. And so, but that's where I met her at. And so now she's actually on my team, and she helps with the publishing and editing and stuff.
I love those people that have like, and the people that do it for Halloween too. You can tell those people that really turn up and like they're just absolute artists. It's like you know that they sat there for hours and got this done and like created this whole like experience to go to this. That's so cool. It's tempting to do something easy though. The only reason I wouldn't do like every so often I think like I would go as a Power Ranger 100%.
It gets hot.
And I'm like, I'm gonna have spandex over my face all day. That
gets
seems
hot.
like really.
I be asking people. I got a couple friends that do like Mandalorian cosplays and all that.
Yeah, it gets hot in that.
They're like, bro, this is not the way.
This is not the way.
I am sweaty. It is hot in here. There's some club like I want to join. There's some organizations that like. For cosplay and stuff like that. Like there's the 501st and
have you that was my other question. Have you encountered furries? These people that dress up as like
no, I know I know who they are. I don't.
That's like a whole thing.
I'm sure I have. Like it's just not. It's not a huge because like when you're at Comic-Con, there's so much more interesting stuff than a tail. So like.
No, I know.
But I mean, I'm sure I've met some people. There's actually at a couple of them, it was the same vendor that I saw at a couple of different ones, and she was selling ears and stuff and whatever. Like honestly, it's cool. Like I think it's cool. It's just for me personally, I would not be one to like be out in the everyday.
I agree.
Talking about I'm a dog.
Do you see that guy that turned himself into a dog? Like paid thousands of dollars to turn himself into a dog and walk around. I was like, he's got to be a white man, cause ain't no nigga doing this shit. Like,
hey, bro, I'm just like I don't even be trying to talk about him. I just be like, look, bro, I got my opinions, but
they be doing shit. They just,
you seem happy.
Yeah. Hey, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it for you.
Cool.
This is for you.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty good run. I'm on my third year.
Okay.
I just hit my anniversary February 1st. Mm-hmm. So I'm on my third year. Gonna start. I'm gonna be at the farmers market again.
Okay.
Coming out with some new books and stuff. I just dropped another one. I have them, so I'm taking pre-orders.
Yeah. You all hear that?
For Twin Singularities. Hop on my website, grab it. It's like $12. Go on there, hit that support. And then I have another one coming out this summer, and I'm actually working with my race car partners for that one. And so I want that one to come out like by Juneteenth. So then that way, because in Juneteenth, I'm going to have a table at the Des Moines Juneteenth, and I'm going to have one in Kansas City, too.
At Juneteenth.
So for real? Yeah. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have somebody at my table.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go to Kansas City. I'm going to try to get another table in Omaha, too, and have my other teammate work that one.
Yeah, I love Kansas City.
It's my favorite city. Hey, Chiefs won, too. Again.
It's dope down there.
Don't give me that face. You say get Hibley. Don't give me that say. Chiefs Nation.
So, like, when it comes to doing this, like, what is something that you really love about it, and what is something that if you could change it, like, something that is it just like, if you could change this, how would you change it? How would you improve upon things?
Business-wise?
Yeah, just being a Black comic book creator in that space.
Well, first and foremost, I would make. I want things to be less expensive. It's expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I like it. Like, just the way that it is. Like, it is what it is, and that's the fun of it. Like figuring out which Comic-Cons I'm gonna go to, and like making those hard choices. Not even just with this, in life in general, but like that's what makes it interesting. Right. That's what makes it like, oh, okay, well, I can either go to this dope Comic-Con or I can go to this dope Comic-Con. Like, so, and I'm just now getting to the point, like I said, with Juneteenth, like I'm gonna test out like having one table here and then being in a different city and seeing how that works. So, hopefully I ran into actually my first Comic-Con that I've been to that ever. I met this group of people that they do that full time. They just travel around the country going to Comic-Cons.
That's amazing.
And so literally, and so they kind of showed me like that's very possible. Mm-hmm. They have a couple different teams and they'll hit different, like I think 3 different Comic-Cons at one time.
That's cool.
And yeah, so like that's where my brain is at. I'm like, all right, cool. I want to I need a street team to be able to like do that type of stuff.
Yeah, travel with.
And so I wouldn't even have to travel. Like I would just hit up the street team in Minneapolis and be like, yeah. So like, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that like I would change or like that I want to get to, whatever. Just to be able to be more flexible, to be able to do that type of stuff. And then I don't know. It's pretty much I like it the way it is. There's some difficulties and stuff, but I think that's part of what it's necessary. It separates amateurs from professionals.
I agree.
So yeah.
You got to go through that fire.
Yeah, so I wouldn't change it. As much as I know I'm a professional, like I need that proving ground. I need that proof. So it's like,
well, even all these creators, like we are just talking about, that created Dragon Ball Z and all these other ones, like
they pay their dues.
They paid their dues.
Yeah.
They went through, long periods where this wasn't popular, and it finally takes off, and and you die.
Literally, and then you die 5 years later.
Oh my God,
dang,
we
bro.
love you.
Yeah.
I love that though. Like I love that if you're genuine, you get your dues regardless at the end of the day.
See, that's what I just started doing stuff for me. I was like, look,
you have to look out for
yourself.
I
like this stuff. It's making me a better writer. It's motivating me to like watch, be part of not meetings, but like seminars or whatever of like writing classes and voice acting classes and all this stuff that I already know how to do, but I want to be better. I want to be better than you. I want to be better than you. I want to be the best person that's here. So
that self-drive, like wanting it for yourself is so important. Because, like, if you're doing it for any other reasons, if you're not genuine about that shit, it's going to show through. Yeah. Like, we're going to notice if you're not a genuine-ass motherfucker because we're going to be like, oh, shit, you're not really about it like that. Like, you're really just playing.
And I want to be the best, really like, out of everybody, but I really do just want to be better than I was yesterday. Like, I just want to be,
like, the only person you should be in competition with is yourself. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be watching what anybody else is doing. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? Because if you're too busy watching them, you're going to fuck up in your own life. Like, focus on the road ahead of what you want to do. Block everything else out, and you're going to get to that win.
Absolutely.
Like, it might take a little longer because you're not taking cheat codes.
100%.
You're not doing low-down shit. Like, I explained this to my kid. I was like, yo, like...
You cheating yourself.
Being a good person always pays off. Like, it might take a little longer to get to the top, but it feels twice as good. Yeah. Because you're like, you don't
got
know
your
nobody. You don't have no dirty stuff coming out about you. You don't have to worry.
No scandals.
You can stand on business 100%, 10 toes down, and be like,
building your house
I built this.
Yeah, building your house
on the solid rock instead of sand. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see the new Avatar series? I have to ask about that. Okay. That's the answer.
Like, it's entertaining.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
The movie wasn't great either.
We don't talk about the movie. Yeah, we don't talk about the movie.
We don't talk about that here. Unless it's the anime, you ain't giving it to me. Yeah, I don't even want y'all to. And they said that they were making a new series of the cartoon to come out and follow them through their teen years. I don't need y'all to do that either because you're gonna fuck it up.
Nah, because it's the original creators that are doing
hopefully,
that.
Hopefully they keep to this because listen, we already went through Korra. Yeah, we're already through Aang into Korra. Like we don't need. We don't need y'all to fuck it up more.
They could have went back and did like a Kyoshi.
I think so too.
You know what I'm saying? Like even
Kyoshi's one of my favorites.
Who was the airbender?
Kyoshi don't give a fuck.
Yang Shen. Yeah. They could have done Yang Shen because she was a monster, bro. Like,
yeah.
Bro, why the avatars before Aang? Like Aang make it seem like the avatar is like this nomadic Bruh, all the avatars before him was mopping people. Like,
whenever there's a guy that makes these videos about like the avatar, talking about like, but Aang, the avatar doesn't kill people. It's like, that's bullshit. Talk to Kyoshi.
Oh God.
Talk to Kyoshi. She talk about, yo, you gotta stomp these niggas out.
Oh God. I'm like, bro, they were snuffing niggas out.
Listen, sometimes the avatar has to make choices.
Oh, he said it's because Aang's people got massacred.
Yeah, no, After that, they don't
that
kill
makes
people.
sense. That makes sense.
But
that's
still,
all right.
You come through that as the airbender avatar. You have to stand on business.
I'm avenging everybody, bro. What you mean?
I'm taking the oxygen out of the Fire Nation air, fam.
That's one of the biggest things. I'm like, bro, Aang is trash.
No fire.
You can't have fire without oxygen, G.
Why you fighting
All
me?
you gotta do is and they can't even breathe.
I suffocated
bro,
you.
What's his name did that in Korra?
Yeah.
He made that bubble around her head. She was like, oh. Yeah. I would do that to everybody.
Right.
I would make a big bubble around everyone. The whole group dead.
There's a guy that does these videos about all these different characters, and he did one on the Avatar like that, where they're like, "Oh my God, Aang, did you just knock him out?" He's like, "Nah, he's
dead."
He said, "I sent that nigga to the spirit world."
Oh God.
He said, "Oh no, the Avatar's not supposed to kill people." He's like, "I'm not finna do all this talking."
Oh God.
Fam. Like,
oh God.
No, you not finna fuck with me on the Avatar.
I know who you're talking about. Is it the same dude? Because he did. I think there was a dude. He did something like that for. He did something like that for Harry Potter.
Yeah, he does that.
He was like, "I just need the one spell, Avada Kedavra."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm not finna
talk with you. I need the one spell."
He's like, "I'm not finna do all this talking."
He said, "Expelliarmus."
They said,
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, they're like, "You're a monster."
He's like, "I'm not finna talk. I just need the one thing." Yeah, that's crazy.
I literally, he's the guy. I commented on one of his with the Voldemort Harry Potter thing, and he pinned my shit to the top. It's got like over 500, 600 likes.
That's
bro.
crazy.
It's Voldemort in the bedroom. Like, it's him and his buddy. They pull up. He's in the bedroom. He's like, "Yo, V, where's the ops?" And he's like, "This baby is the ops." And he's like, V, no, that's a baby, dog. He's like, no, you don't understand.
Oh my God, this baby is the ops.
This baby is the ops.
I'm screaming.
No, fam, you crazy. He's like, this baby's gonna try and kill me in the future.
Yeah.
He's like, you tripping, dog? And he's like, yeah, you're right. You know, he's like, yeah, man. For a second, I thought you were gonna kill that baby. He's like, right.
I'm screaming, bro. That's crazy.
This baby is the ops, fam. I'm trying to cut it from the start. I'm trying to get rid of this dude.
That's a bad guy.
There's also this other influencer.
I'd be mad too if my name was Tom Riddle, though.
Yeah, Marvolo Rillo. Yeah. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Take that V and do nothing else with it. Nah. There's this other influencer from St. Louis that does these episodes. Yeah, he's like big hurry, no rush in Azkaban. You know, they caught me putting something in Malfoy's wizard broom.
Yeah.
They caught me putting sugar in Malfoy's wizard broom. You know, no rush.
Yeah, his broom was tweaking.
He's like, this is my daddy's house. This is my daddy's house. Y'all know Sirius Black? This is my daddy's house, dog. Like, he's talking about Dobby. He's like showing up in a dirty ass dish rag and shit. He's like, damn.
So you know what I peeped? I seen this video and it was like Lucius. He was about to murk Harry for freeing Dobby.
Oh yeah.
Like you can see, he said, Vada. Bro, when I seen that, I was like, yo.
Niggas locks was like streaming
in the middle of school campus. In the middle of school campus. He was like, hey, that was my favorite slave, bro.
He didn't ever lie. He was never tripping about being a Death Eater. Bro, he was always on that shit.
He was bout it. He was bout it.
Until V came back. And then when V came back, this nigga looked fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, then he turned into a shell of himself.
Well, bro, you got to think though, like, you know, he probably didn't really think he was gonna come back.
No, none of them did.
You know what I'm saying? They're just like, oh no, we just got our goth thing going on. Like we'll murk a nigga if we need to. Voldemort came back. They was like, oh.
Voldemort was literally like, none of y'all tried to get me back except this pussy ass nigga here.
I'm the captain now. We all about to
Oh God.
The rat dude.
Oh God, literally. He can't dodge them all.
The rat brought me back, just so y'all know. I'm giving him a new hand. And
oh God.
Y'all niggas is all on watch.
The rat.
Y'all niggas is on watch.
Hey, you can see on
masquerading as a child's pet
on the map in Chamber of Secrets, I think you can see Newt from Fantastic World of Beasts. You can see Newt on the map.
He's in the house?
He's in Hogwarts.
He's in Hogwarts doing what?
He's probably trying to save all them animals that Hagrid be.
Literally, Hagrid's a menace.
Oh God,
he's a menace. He's keeping a hippogriff.
He got hippogriffs and giant spiders and dragons and. Bro, you ain't learned your lesson? Like, okay, first of all, let me say, when I seen Chamber of Secrets, because I'm arachnophobic. Yeah, it's just, bro, spiders, I don't know what it is. Like, I got a rule of thumb. If you're bigger than my thumb, I don't mess with you. Like, it's. Have
you seen that new series, that new show on Netflix, that new movie by Adam Sandler called Spaceman?
Who's the actor?
Adam Sandler.
Oh, he wrote it and acted it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it just popped up, so it's on my list.
Yeah, no, don't watch it if you don't like spiders.
I mean, I'm gonna still watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I thought it was okay. It was outside the box for Adam Sandler. I thought it was
I'll still watch stuff with
trippy,
spiders.
Really psychedelic a bit. Psychological.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you out here doing this black comic book thing.
Yeah.
In Iowa. What's the goal? Like, what's the
world domination?
5-year? Right. Yeah.
So
have this shit in movie form. Like you were talking about, you're creating a whole language.
Yeah. So we're that's gonna get. I'm working with one of the executive producers from Lion Forge Animation.
Cool.
And we're trying to turn that into a series. And then my story that I got with my race car partners, we're gonna try to turn that into a movie. I'm just going around doing different pitch competitions, looking at different ways to get some capital and stuff to make it happen.
So you have this whole language that you've got to teach somebody to
Kikati.
Voice these. Yeah, what's the language called?
Kikati.
Okay. So, don't let Andre say this because he'll mangle it.
So Kikati is it's derived from a West African word akata, which is a word for black people not from Africa.
Okay.
So it's the language of displaced black people.
Displaced.
Yeah.
Yep.
So so Kikati it's an amalgamation of Swahili, Patois, Igbo, English, and Hebrew.
Okay.
And so yeah, I'm just putting that together slowly
Making
but
an
surely.
alphabet.
Yeah,
I saw this
whole
on his phone, you
dictionary.
guys. It's insane.
Yeah, I low key I want to use I was trying to think of what script it would be written in, and I discovered Ge'ez from Ethiopia. So Tigrinya and Amharic is written in Ge'ez. And bro, it's so beautiful. It's a Semitic, it's one of the dopest things I've seen, and it's very intuitive. Like if you want, so you'll have one shape that's like the ka sound, and if you want to add ah, you just put a little dash, ah. So now it's ka.
It's interesting, looking at hieroglyphs to get inspiration. The fact that they didn't even know what any of the Mayan hieroglyphs meant until the late 1980s, due to some lady figuring out oh, this means numbers and letters and this symbol can you put them together with these 3 dots and this line It's amazing people that are able to use their mind in a way to put this together to make it make sense.
Yeah, that
without
stuff
a
is
Rosetta
always
Stone.
Yeah, that stuff has always blown my mind. How you just
pictures.
eagle, bull, palm tree. He's like F you. That's oh God. He said F you and your whole family. That's how you know?
Your mama an eagle palm tree.
Oh God, your mama an eagle palm tree. Oh God.
Right. It's just they covered these buildings and these scripts, and especially in Mesoamerica, the Aztec Mayan area. I've gone to the Mayan ruins down in Tulum, and it's insane what colonization and what I'm Puerto Rican and Black, and it's if you go to Puerto Rico and you just see the way the indigenous culture has been practically stamped out, and all remnants of this, and it's just insane to be they were writing their history into the stone. The Mayans, once they realized, the Spaniards thought all they had was the book, their Popol Vuh as they called it, so they burned their book of all their scrolls and everything, and then
they were just all right, it's in the cave.
Yeah, I was gonna say in 2010 they found a city in Guatemala that they didn't know existed before, and that entire book is written into the building.
Crazy. That's
and it's
crazy.
the book was a backup. In fact, the book was just an easier access, so you'd have to go to the city.
That was just so we could take it into the.
So you'd have to come and read through the city all over the buildings. I'm
that's crazy.
Why would you do that if you're not threatened by a culture that you deem are below you? Why would you go to such extent to destroy everything they have, make sure they have nothing to go back on?
I mean, that's just that's
replace religion, replace everything.
That's how historical. I mean, even Rome,
always,
Persia,
always
Babylon.
Yep.
They all did the same thing because there was no that, and that's why this melting pot idea that America has don't really work.
Right.
Because I think it didn't work because they didn't commit one way or the other.
I agree.
If they were gonna be a melting pot, just be a melting pot. If you just wanted to wipe all that out and everybody's American, do that.
Yeah.
But they had one foot in each side.
It's if it doesn't matter, take it off of applications, take it off of everything. If race doesn't matter, why do I need to put it on anything? Why does it matter? I'm like you, right? And then you find out all these bank loans that they intentionally, I was reading something about
redlining
that.
And
that they were, even though these black people had more money in the account, had more collateral than a lot of these white people, they were still denying them a bank loan, giving it to these white people. Yeah. All right, so Basi.
Yes.
Tell people where to find you.
Yeah. Anywhere. If you I'm highly Googleable. You type in Google Iowa Black comic books. I'm the first 4 pages.
Love that.
But sensiilstudios.com. You find me. I'm very active on Instagram at Sensiil Studios. Sensiil. There's 2 I's.
Yeah, 2 I's.
So cause you had said something about because we were talking about black comic books and what that is. So a Sensiil is an Amharic word for comic book for sequential art, and so that's just with the name of that.
That's what it means.
Also trying to mold what black comics are, what Sensiils
maybe that'll end up being the word. How crazy would it be?
So that's what the Ethiopian creator that I was talking about. That's what he was saying. He was like, this is a broadband broadcast to black creators. Japanese got mangas, Koreans got this, Americans got this. We got Sensiils. So
all right, love that. Yeah. Basi Affia, Sensiil Studios, Last Word with Naya podcast. Naya, Eli live behind the film. We're out. Yeah.